Hey folks, this is April 12th. It is Monday, and this is once again the Daily Word. You know, so many of us evangelical, Bible-believing Christians find ourselves really upset right now over issues that we see regarding the direction of the nation. Deep down, we feel as if something profoundly evil is being done. We fear the loss of freedoms. You know, just over the course of the last week, in Canada, our U.S. neighbor to the north, a pastor in Edmonton who has already done some jail time saw his church after his Easter service basically attacked by police, who then built temporary fences around his building to keep people out. When his people tore down the fences, they sent in 200 police, 40 vehicles, and 1 helicopter. In America, some states still have churches under draconian restrictions. We have a national government trying to pack the Supreme Court with liberal judges. Our tax dollars under this administration are being used more than under the previous administration to fund abortions. Second Amendment rights are under assault. We have a crisis at the southern border as hundreds of thousands of illegals cross over, tens of thousands of them children being trafficked by cartels. Terrorists are coming across our southern border. Drugs are coming across our southern border under the policies of the current administration. I saw an interview of one Border Patrol agent who said that when you add in the numbers of people they did not catch, the numbers for March swell from 175,000 to 250,000, while the administration refuses to acknowledge that there's even a crisis. We're understandably upset. And it's much too easy to respond in ways that sound hateful. But that kind of response never wins the day. So today the Lord reminded me of a revelatory dream he gave me in 2015 when Barack Obama was still president. And as I tell you this dream, I want to tell you, I did not support Barack Obama. And there were times when my attitude toward him was unclean. I was not happy. I did not like the direction he was taking the nation. And so here's the dream. In this dream, I'm in a shopping mall, and it was at a time when there had been some recent mass shootings in schools and things. And so I'm in this shopping mall, and I know that the president is there, and President Obama is there, and he's set up with all the news people. He's going to give some kind of an address to the nation, expressing his grief over the shootings. And so I find where that is, and I walk up to the gathering, the crowd that's gathered around him, and I see him, and suddenly I am filled from God with this miraculous, unbelievable, overpowering sense of love and compassion for the man. Something that I had never felt before. I knew it had to have come from God. And so I walked up to the Secret Service people because I wanted to get to the president. The Lord had given me a mandate. And for some reason, the Secret Service people let me past. And I went up to the president and I said, Mr. President, would you mind if I stood with you? Because I'd been commanded to stand with him and support him as he expressed his concern and his grief to the nation. And the president grasped my hand in this dream. He grasped my hand and actually shed some tears and said, "Oh, please do." He was so grateful. And then I remember in the dream asking the Secret Service people and the stage people to remove the pulpit, or the podium, I guess it was, so that people could see us standing together before the nation. Well, that was the dream. I said at the time that we were going to be tested, and that we were going to have to be immersed in a level of love from the Lord for the unlovable at deeper levels than we had ever imagined. It would have to be miraculous love. It would have to be love undeserved and directed at people that we might love to hate. I said that our response would reveal where our hearts truly are. And that brings me to 1 Timothy 2, starting at verse 1. First of all then, I urge that entreaties and prayers, petitions, and thanksgivings be made on behalf of all men, for kings and all who are in authority, so that we may lead a tranquil and quiet life in godliness and dignity. This is good and acceptable in the sight of God our Savior, who desires all men to be saved and to come to a knowledge of the truth. Now, we may not like the politics that are going on, and we shouldn't. I'm not saying that we should. There are things that we need to stand against, use our vote, write letters. But we're called to love the people involved as those for whom Jesus died and rose again. We tend to see these people as inherently evil. I don't think Jesus sees anybody as inherently evil. He sees them as objects of his love, people that he died to save, people that he loved enough to make that sacrifice for. He did the same thing for us who believe. We weren't beautiful people when he died for us. While we were yet sinners, he died for us. And so the key to this praying is that Jesus, and I'll quote it again, desires all men to be saved and to come to a knowledge of the truth. If we cannot pray for the success of the agenda of the left, we can certainly pray for the heart and soul of Joe Biden as a man, Kamala Harris as a woman, Nancy Pelosi as a woman, Chuck Schumer as a man, and all of the others. They are people. They are souls who are precious. If we see them as thoroughly evil icons who need to be destroyed, we have gone down the wrong path, and we have not understood what our Jesus did for us. Whether or not the election was stolen becomes irrelevant in this light. We are praying for the salvation of people whom Jesus loved and whom he loves enough to give his life to save. Now listen, some of you may hate me for this video. I mean, you might. You might not like what I have to say. You might be upset with what I have to say. And I understand that. I understand why that would bother you. You might feel all righteous in hating these people. I hate what they're doing. I hate what they're doing with everything. They frighten me. Frankly, they do. But I cannot afford to hate them as people, not maintain my relationship with Jesus, not maintain the heart of Jesus, not and maintain an image before the world that says God is love. We can't hate evil people and still claim to be those who preach a gospel of love. We can't. We just can't. We need to be looking to people like Daniel, who served Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar destroyed Daniel's nation, razed his temple to the ground, took his people into exile, and then pressured him to worship foreign gods. And yet Daniel became a servant to Nebuchadnezzar, interpreted his dreams, and proved by the respect that he gave, proved by the power of his spiritual gifts, that God is God, and Nebuchadnezzar had to acknowledge that. Joseph in the Old Testament did the same thing. Unjustly sold into slavery, unjustly imprisoned, but when the opportunity came to interpret Pharaoh's dream, that pagan king, he did so, gave a solution for the meaning of the dream, which was 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine, and became then honored by Pharaoh and exalted to the number 2 position in the kingdom. People, we're not going to get there by presenting a hate face. We've got to stop. We've got to stop. We can use our vote, we can write letters, we can do all the rest of it, but being seen as an angry and hateful people will not win the day. It will only feed division. It will only turn more people against us, even those that we want to win. I have to carry the same quality of love in my heart and spirit for them, for those people, that Jesus does. And I have to pray for them with that kind of attitude. Well, that's enough said for today. You probably won't hear from me until Friday, 4 days from now. I have an eye surgery coming up, and a medical procedure on top of that. And so I thank you for your prayers and pray that you have a great week. God bless.